Hi Virgo, welcome to your week ahead horoscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. If you are already a continued subby, you know I love you for it. With that said, if you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do so on the website address below. Tribal Tuesday goes live in February. If you want to get your space, if there's one thing in particular that you know you are totally ready to move beyond, to work past and completely let go of so that you can soar in your life in any area, Tribal Tuesday is for you. It's a 4-week course and it's going to be brilliant. It's got lots of FLP in it and it's basically about resetting yourself for success in one specific area of life. If you want to do that, across the board, and you want to build yourself a mindset built for magic, for creating, manifesting, abundance, all of those things as well, and anything else in general really that you want, Mindset Magic is for you. It goes live in March. If you want to get onto either one of those courses or both of them, you can do so in the links in the description box below. With that said, I would like to bless all of my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So let's have a look, see what the week ahead has in store for you, my dear Virgos. And this week you get, for your actions and your path ahead, the 9 of Wands, right? So this is about you being ready to speak up, basically. It's about where you're ready to not even admit defeat. It's just about you kind of calling something as you see it. And the 9 of Wands, yes, it's, the battered and bruised soldier and all the rest of it. But this is about where you move into a space where you're ready to kind of admit what you've worked hard enough on, right? What you're kind of at the end of dealing with, so to speak. The other thing with this card as well, very often I find it's when people are in a position or about to be placed in a position where they really need to speak their truth, where they really need to say something. The thing about nines are all about completions. They're all about endings. They're all about closing things down. This is the 9 of Wands, the 9 of actions. So this is about you really kind of speaking your truth, saying it how you see it, whatever it is that you feel, whatever it is that you're ready to divulge or even to move beyond. This is kind of the week where you're starting it. And I will say this for a lot of you as well, it's not even just about whatever you're saying, it's about the energy that you're going to free up within yourself. I think for a lot of you, if you've been feeling sluggish or, like your physical energy just isn't there, it's because whatever this burden is that you've been holding on to, it's kind of like it's just imploding and going inward. This week, you'll find literally as soon as you've said what you have to, your shoulders will feel lighter, your chest will feel lighter, you'll be able to breathe, right? So keep that in mind. Your communications and conversations, you've got the Strength card. This is about what is at the heart of hearts, right? So for some of you, this literally is that. There's something that's been possibly weighing on your heart, something that you've been wanting to say or needing to say. And the fact that you've got the Strength card as well, the interesting thing is, for me, it kind of presents a challenge, because the feeling I get from it is this something that you really, for somebody else's benefit, I feel like you really care about something that you've been seeing. And a lot of you have been biting your tongue, and it's kind of like you've been saying, you know what, it's not mine to deal with, it's up to them, they've got their own life path, which is absolutely true, right? But sometimes, if we know that it's us that could probably get that person to move in a different direction, and this isn't to say that it's your burden or your responsibility, because it's neither, right? Everyone's responsible for themselves. But this week, you could free up a lot of internal energy on a personal level. Sorry, I got this bloody itchy nose thing. It's driving me mad again. This could be you moving into that space where you say, look, you know what, I think I've held on to this for long enough. It's time for me to speak up. On another aspect, this could be you communicating with or speaking to a Leo person, somebody that has a lot of Leonine energy in their chart. And on another level, it just sees that the communications that you're having this week have a very heartfelt feeling to them. My advice to you is as well, whatever it is that you're speaking on this week that needs to be said, the chances are it's going to be quite a heavy conversation, right? It looks like there may be some moments where it's kind of like, oh, okay, you know what, this is getting everybody in their feels, but it needs to be had anyway, right? So that's my advice to you. Just kind of go for it. Rip the band-aid off, as they say. So your money and materials, you have the Two of Swords, right? Whatever moves you're making this week when it comes to your finances, when it comes to your money, even when it comes to your job, this week you don't want to talk about it. This is stuff that you need to keep to yourself, especially if it's an idea of some sort, because it's not fully formed yet. So when it comes to your finances, wherever you're putting your money, whatever you're investing in, anything like that, you know, you really want to keep it to yourself. The other thing with the Two of Swords as well, yes, it can see you making big decisions and big choices, but it's basically saying to you, what are your feelings saying to you? What is it that your gut tells you when it comes to your finances? And the reason I say that is because whatever it is that you are doing this week when it comes to your money and materials may very, very well go against the grain. You know, and this is why I feel like you're not really supposed to tell anyone, because whatever it is that you are doing, you might find that there are a lot of naysayers or people that are like, no, that's not a good idea. You know, you don't know what you're doing, blah, blah, blah. It's really important that you don't take their word for it, right? If your hunch and your gut is telling you to move ahead with something, follow that. It's really, really important. When it comes to your health, your physical health, this is really asking you to do a systems check, right? And if that means going to the doctor to get a checkup, then go for it. Like I said, if you've been feeling sluggish and low energy, I feel like it's a big part of it is to do with this, but obviously I'm not a doctor or a medical professional, so I can't give you that kind of advice. And based on that, obviously go and get like a proper systems checkup, right? So your love and relations, family connections and intimate relationships, you've got the Two of Pentacles. Look at this. Got two twos here, right? So relationships look good this month. You may very well find that for those of you that are partnered, you might find that yours and your partner's ideas are somewhat at odds this week. And that's not to say that there's going to be bust-ups or arguments or anything like that. It just means that there is going to be some very heavy debate on what is possible, and it might be that something is flagged up that kind of says to you, right, okay, well, the moves that you're going to make, and this is the thing, right? So whatever you're sharing, it looks like you might be sharing it or wanting to share, you might be sharing it with a partner. I mean, don't share it outside of that, right? If it is a partner, the chances are they're going to flag something up for you that you might say, oh, actually, do you know what? I overlooked that. I didn't even think about it. So in that respect, it's a good thing to share with somebody that you love. But outside of that, keep stuff to yourself. For those of you that are single, this Two of Pentacles, opposite the Two of Swords, this could be you running into somebody that works in your building but not necessarily in your office. It could be somebody from a different company that you work with. I'm just seeing that whatever connections are coming in for those of you that are single, they very likely come from the work environment. So if you're self-employed or you work for yourself, the chances are this could be somebody that you meet maybe on your way to the bank, maybe, do you know what I mean, like in the course of whatever your duties entail. And for your family relationships or your familial stuff, yeah, again, these big conversations. And also when it comes to money, you may very well be, it might, because there's something here about finances to do with, with the connections. So when it comes to the family, this could see you really looking at those kind of things. You might even intuit that somebody is having an issue. So it might be that somebody is kind of suffering in silence and you catch wind of it. And you might be presented then with a moral dilemma of, well, do I say that I know what's going on with them and that I'm happy to help, or do I let them come to me? I've got to be honest with you, I kind of feel like this week you're going to need to let them speak up. And if you are in a position to help, consider it literally that. My advice to you is, if you don't have money to lend that you won't, that you won't expect back in a certain time frame, probably not the best time for it, because the chances are it could be a long time before you get it back. So just keep that as a consideration. And then finally, your key to the week is the Magician, right? So even with all of this stuff going on internally, you really are moving forward. So, and it's going to be at a slow pace. I mean, a lot of the stuff that's taking place in Capricorn over the course of this week, you know, with that big sort of build up of energy that's taking place in Capricorn, offers a trine energy to you. Excuse me. Excuse me. So in some way, shape or form, it's actually a really beneficial energy for you to get things moving or to make things consistent in some way. The fact that you've got the Magician here, I will say this to you. It looks like you are very much in a position of authority in many ways, shapes or forms. And, you know, not saying that you would, because I'm sure you're lovely, but in many ways you could become a bit of a tyrant this week. So it's really important that you think to yourself, right, okay, with this great power comes the great responsibility, as they say. So just keep that in mind. You know, if you know you're in a position to help people, do it from a place of purity, not that you wouldn't, but you get my gist. And also, you know, it really does feel like you need to let people come to you with whatever their burdens are rather than speaking on it. It just saves that sort of red-faced moment for everybody involved, all right? With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up for you. Take care, and I'll see you soon.